I don't know what y'all got going on at McFarlane, man, but y'all made Ochiko a little thick. Y'all forgot. She's only 15 years old.
FBI, open up!
What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes, here back with another top 5 of 2020. And before I even get started, I want to say that these 5 that you see right here are not runner-up figures. I just don't have a lot of McFarlane toys. So I decided I would show off some of the figures that I pose the most. These are not favorites by any means. I did have a whole lot of McFarlanes that I picked up at the beginning of last year. But over the course of time, I just ended up selling a lot of them because y'all know how it is. McFarlane can put out some really decent figures, but at the same time, they can put out a whole lot of trash. I mean, bad figures. Y'all know what I meant. Because I know if I say that, it's going to be a lot of McFarlane fans hating in the comments. So anyway, these are the figures that I ended up selling last year, if you guys want to know. And there's probably more than what I'm showing right now. But yeah, these are just some of the figures I ended up selling. But yeah, here we are with my top 5 McFarlane figures. And once again, I'm only doing 5 because I don't have a whole lot of these. I just don't end up keeping them in my collection. But let's go ahead and dive right into that list, starting out with number 5. Now, starting out with number 5, we do have the My Hero Academia Shoto Todoroki. And I'll go ahead and say this one is absolutely 1000% biased because he is my favorite character. But there are some elements to this figure that I really enjoy. I'll talk about the bad first and then I'll get to the good. The bad is this figure is too tall compared to some of the other figures in the line. But we all know McFarlane is all over the place when it comes to scaling. So I'm not even surprised by that. Secondly, the face sculpt is just kind of for me. It doesn't really capture the character, but it does capture the character. I feel like the red is too dark. It should have been a much brighter red for the scar and for the hair. But on to the good. They did a great job in terms of sculpting this guy. It looks exactly like Shoto Todoroki with just some issues with the face. But what really caught me was when I held this guy at Toy Fair and I saw this. When I saw how they did this crunch right here for him to be able to move forward, that sold it to me already. But then, of course, he comes with fire and ice accessories. The sculpt work on the rest of the body is good. He comes with fist hands and not just these trigger pair of hands, which I still don't understand why they do that. But I feel like he came with enough accessories. He looks okay in your collection, and he's absolutely fun to pose. Now, I've been hearing some people say that this guy is better than the Figma version. That's cap. Stop that. No, it's not. It's a decent figure for $20. That's what it is. He's not exceptional, but he is one of the best figures I picked up last year, and so I felt like he belonged at the number 5 spot. Now, even though I'm only doing my top 5 McFarlane figures from 2020, this video was difficult to put together from this point onward because of the fact that I didn't know which order I wanted to put these in. And some of the figures that I show next up are just, I really like them, and I can't tell which one I like more than another. But I am of the majority when it comes to this guy, which is why he's number 4. I like the blue one that they released, but every time I told someone that, they were like, oh yeah, you mean the one with the pamper? I was like, you kind of got a pamper going on, but I mean, it works with the articulation, and he still looks really good, which is why this guy is here. And it's another one that's kind of biased. But not only do I love Nightwing, I love a good articulated Nightwing, and at the same time, red is my favorite color. So this guy automatically got a pass. I knew as soon as I picked this up that this guy was going to be added to the list. And there's really nothing different than the first release Nightwing, other than the fact that everything that was blue is red, and then the eyes are painted red. He comes with the same accessories, same hands, same everything. But I just really love the look of Nightwing, blue or red, but red topped it off. So this guy made the list for that reason. I'm just going to be honest with you. He made the list for that reason. Y'all can disagree. Y'all can agree. It's my list at the end of the day. Moving on. Now for number 3 and 2.5. Yeah, I said 2.5. I had to do it different this time. I'm going with these two. And this one was so difficult to choose. Guys, I swear, I only wanted to do 5. But once I get to the next 2, I think you guys will understand. Both of these had to make the list. They had to. Because Thomas Wayne, Batman. Who else has done this? Who else has given us a good, very good sculpted, decent posing Thomas Wayne Batman that looks sick? No one has done this. Not DC Collectibles, not SH Figuarts, Tamashii Nations, whoever you want to say. No one has done this. If Mafex does it, it's a wrap. But no one has done this. And I feel like he had to make the list just for that. But on top of that, he's a good figure. He's fun to pose. I think I've taken more shots of this Thomas Wayne Batman than I have any of the other McFarlane releases I have in my collection, period. And then there's this guy, the Metals Batman. We have him at 2.5. I had to put this guy on the list somewhere. And why not put him right next to his dad? At first, when I got this figure, I was like, this guy's kind of whack, you know? Because, for one, they messed up on the cape. The inside of the cape is supposed to be purple. He's got all these scars and rips on him, and none of them are painted in. It just looks like they're a part of the costume. It's not. There's supposed to be skin underneath there. But I have had so much fun posing this guy around. I also really love this look for Batman. I love the Bat logo. I love this cape. I wish they would have done it accurately, but I love this menacing, smug look on his face. Like, this is another figure I've just taken a bunch of shots of, and so I had to have him on the list. I'm sorry for the people who are like, 2.5 makes no sense. A lot of stuff about McFarlane don't make sense, so y'all gonna have to deal with it. I love this figure. Both of these are on the list. If it makes you feel better, you can say which one you like the most, kick the other one off the list, and just pretend I didn't say anything about it. But for me, both of these had to be here. Now, coming in at number 2, I don't know how many of y'all were expecting this. Probably no one. But I had to have this guy on the list. The McFarlane first release Spawn. This is the one that came with the sword. Even though I've only probably taken 5 or 6 photos of this figure, and other than that, I absolutely never touch it, this figure looks amazing. The sculpt, the detail, he lacks in accessories, but I mean, a lot of people can say, oh, the Kickstarter, I don't care about that. I wasn't bamboozled into buying that. Sorry, but this guy right here, honestly, this is what the Kickstarter should have been, except upgraded with more accessories. That's the whole reason I didn't buy the Kickstarter, because I know how Todd is. I was expecting that figure to be the complete opposite of what the prototype showed it to be, and I was right. I'm so glad I didn't order that thing, other than the fact that I could probably sell it for triple what I paid for it, because that's the going rate right now, but I don't scalp. Anyway, that being said, this is a cool figure. The only thing I can think of that would make this figure any better is adding maybe some articulation right around the thighs, a thigh swivel. That would have topped this figure off. I know there's a video out there to do it, but hey, I'm not into all of that. I don't modify my figures. So this guy just looks good. If you're not happy with the Kickstarter, feel free to pick this guy up. He's probably at everyone's GameStop, and there's 3 different versions, so go for it. Great figure. And I'm saying that having absolutely no attachment to the character of Spawn whatsoever. Now for the final one on my list, number 1, we do have the McFarlane Toys Red Hood. I'm sure you guys probably expected this. I just picked this figure up and I absolutely love it. Not just because it's Red Hood, but because of the fact that no one has done a Red Hood figure like this. The Mattel version, I don't care what anyone says, that figure sucks. The DC Essentials version was cool, but it doesn't rival this guy in terms of articulation. And not to say that this one has the best, but I think it did better than the DC Essentials. On top of that, I really love that there's a bunch of detail in this, and it seems like this is one of the figures that Todd was passionate about putting out and making sure that it was done properly, because the helmet on this guy is dope, the body, the sculpt work. The only complaint I have about this figure is that he does not come with a pair of fist hands. If he came with a pair of fist hands and maybe just a batarang or something, this guy would have been great. But this is the 2-pack version that came with the Nightwing And I love both of those figures. I really, really do. And I'm hoping Todd will get around to finishing the Bat family. I know he's making Damian Wayne. I hope he gives us another Batgirl, because the one that he first gave us was way too out of scale. I hope he gives us an updated classic Batman that has accurate proportions. And as long as he keeps it up and he makes them like this Red Hood, basically, where it's almost flawless, in my opinion, he's going to get some money off me. I love this figure. And Todd, come on, man. Stop slacking off. Get it together. Give us these figures. We want to pay you. Work with us. So now here you have it. That is my top 5 or 6 McFarlane figures of 2020. And I do absolutely love all of these figures. Obviously, some more than others, but still, I'm not going to act like I haven't had enjoyment with all of these guys. I'm hoping, like, seriously, Todd picks it up, because this isn't a video that I wanted to make into a rant, but seriously, I had bought a bunch of McFarlane figures last year, and I was just so unsatisfied with most of them. As you guys can see, the Grim Knight is not on here. The Destroyer is not on here. The Zombie Superman is not on here. None of the first releases, the Harley Quinn, the Batgirl, the Nightwing, all of this stuff that he had put out, any of the DC medals, except for this Batman, you don't see any of those on the list. Batman Who Laughs. And it's not to say that those were bad figures. I just didn't have the enjoyment that I wanted out of those. And so these guys brought me that joy that I was hoping for, and I just hope he continues to make characters I want. I've completely limited myself out of buying a lot of these, but they're still decent figures nonetheless. Some better than others, but that's a story for another day. So hope you guys did enjoy this video. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That always helps me out. If I hurt you, give it a thumbs up anyway, just to show me you saw the video. You can tell me you hate me in the comments. I don't really care. But yeah, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new videos. We're on the road to 10K right now, guys. So subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. I got a whole lot of stuff coming. I do hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and you guys stay safe wherever you are.